So Cody Zeller had a big game last night against the Mavericks. He had 9 field goals made. But the interesting part about that was 7 of those were assisted by Jimmy Butler. Jimmy had 12 assists in the game. He had 35 points as well. He was controlling everything. And I just want to showcase what's happening specifically in this pick and roll because I think it's interesting in the fact of what works with Jimmy and what he needs as a roller at times, just because of his pacing is so unique. So I just want to go through. And there's also the balance of recognizing what he's doing while also recognizing that this is a very bad defense at the moment. This is a team that's outside the play-in that's trying to make their way in. But their defense is not the reason for any of that. Like the reason they're outside the play-in is because of this defense. So we have to recognize that as well. But going into some of the stuff that the Heat are doing, we have a Jimmy Zeller pick and roll right here. They're trying to ice him, trying to just force him into certain looks. Last time he played the Mavericks, what did they do? They just sent double after double at Jimmy on that right box, and he had like a really poor game. So the fact that he was able to bounce back with this plan is funny. They right here, they're icing him. Zeller's just staying open. They're sending that help defender in Luka just to kind of be there around the rim. Jimmy finds him. He's able to lay it in. So that's the first one. We go a little bit later. Another ice version trying to get downhill toward the baseline. He just stays open. All you have to do as a roller is stay linear with your ball handler. You have to just stay in those little pockets. Jimmy's able to find him. He's able to go up and get another dunk. I go to the next one, just trying to show the kind of the base of what we're seeing right here. Jimmy, just look at the pacing of the way he's kind of just reading things. Like there's reasons why certain pairings work. Like let's talk about the fact that the Tyler Hero Bam Adebayo pick and roll is one of the better pick and rolls toward the end of last year and the beginning of this year. It kind of tailed off as of late. But you look at the fact of they play at the same speed. Tyler, once he comes off that screen, he's gone. Once Bam's come up, is setting a screen, he's gone. Like that, they play at such a similar speed so they can feed off of that. Jimmy's not a fast player. That's why he doesn't play in transition. That's why when you see him in the half court, he's very slow paced, takes his time, wants to see how a defense reacts to certain things. He's just like we say, a safety. Like he just wants to read body movement and anything along those lines. So right here, he comes off slowly reading, goes up in the air. Zeller gets behind the defense. Something Spo talked about a lot was the fact that he waits for kind of Cody to get behind the defense. We saw that a lot. He just distracts kind of those secondary defenders just enough for them to kind of get behind that back line. Another one, this one's not a pick and roll, but I just wanted to show it just because I just don't know how he can make these type of passes right here, trying to get by Luka, gets to the side, big throws like a no look into the dunker spot to Cody. That's just an incredible pass, just the fact that he can do stuff like that. Back to the pick and rolls. Another one, just slow pace. But like I said, this is the part where I say what part of this is kind of a good pick and roll pairing that kind of makes, some noise in a game. And the other part of it is what is this defense showing? Like you look at the fact of how high they're playing on Jimmy. Teams don't usually play that high. They don't want him to get to that elbow mid-range, but they also don't force him into as a passer. They don't want to force him into this usually. Teams usually don't, but they were as of right here. They're just playing so high. He could just make that little lead pass so easily. It gets him an easy layup. That's the part of this that is what is the defense, what is the offense. So then another one right here, you see him playing high, He able to get to a little 2-on-1, dumps it off. It was just happening over and over and over. And I just think it's interesting when you watch him specifically playing pick and roll in general, but the fact that he is such a slow-paced ball handler that he kind of needs a slow-paced roller. And what does that mean for Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo? This is not making the case for anything along those lines. But it's just there's just certain meshing points between players, and it's just certain meshing points between paces. And there's just certain guys that have it and certain guys that don't. Not to say that Jimmy and Bam can't figure out a pick and roll, but we've known over time that it's taken time for them to do it. I just think that there has to be some ground here where if Bam comes off a screen, it has to be a little bit slower. Maybe at times if Jimmy comes off of a screen, he has to play a little faster. It's just there's different range between those two compared to a Hero Bam pick and roll and a Jimmy Zeller pick and roll.